Sorry, sir, we are closed for today.
Do your damn job, slave!
We open on a scene that feels uncomfortably familiar. The diner lights are dimming, chairs are flipped onto tables, the closed sign already faces the street. And there she is. Her name is Sarah Jenkins. She stands near the counter, exhaustion threaded into every movement. Her deep, rich brown skin glows softly under the golden overhead bulbs, the kind of glow you notice only when someone has been carrying the world on their shoulders for too long. Her shoulders ache, her feet burn. 12 hours on shift does that to anyone. Her grease-stained apron hangs loosely over one arm like a worn badge of survival. In her other hand, she grips a small gift box wrapped in bright pink paper, its ribbon slightly crushed from being held too tightly. She's a single mother, and tonight isn't just any night. It's her daughter's first solo ballet recital. Sarah checks her watch again. 20 minutes. That's all she has. 20 minutes to cross town, slip into the auditorium, and find her seat before the music begins. She's almost at the door. Almost free. How many watching know that exact feeling? That moment when freedom is just one step away. She reaches for the handle. The glass door slams open, not gently, not accidentally, violently enough that it nearly collides with her shoulder. A man steps inside. His presence poisons the air instantly. His name is Julian Sterling. He wears a tailored suit that probably cost more than this diner's monthly rent. His movements are sharp, entitled, impatient, the kind of man who has never been told no without consequences. His eyes don't meet Sarah's. They scan the room, the apron, the counter, the environment, not the human being. Door was unlocked, he mutters, already scrolling through his phone. That means you're still open. Sarah exhales slowly. Professional. Controlled. Sir, I'm sorry. We're closed for the night. Sterling barely glances up. I'll be quick. I've already clocked out. Oh, she says, still calm. But there's a 24-hour place 2 blocks. He finally looks at her. Not fully, just enough. A smirk pulls at his mouth. You're really going to make this complicated? Sarah feels the familiar internal shift, the one women learn early. Stay calm. Stay safe. Stay smart. I'm not trying to complicate anything, she says. I just have to leave. Sterling studies her now, not with curiosity, with judgment. Let me guess, he says lightly, as if making a joke. Kids situation? Sarah's jaw tightens. My daughter has a recital. He chuckles softly. Not loud, not cruel, worse, dismissive. Right, he says. Priorities. He slides into the booth nearest the counter without waiting for invitation. Water, steak. She's heard this tone in boardrooms, let's not in waste interviews, time. In negotiations where the way he says it, not asking, automatically in charge, is familiar to Sarah. And then recognition hits her, not emotionally, professionally. This is Julian Sterling, the CEO who's been emailing her corporate office for weeks, the man begging for a $20 million partnership, the executive whose company is on the brink of collapse. He just doesn't recognize her. Because in his world, power only looks one way. Sarah stares at the door again. The clock, the gift, her daughter waiting, and then she makes a decision. She lifts the apron, ties it back on, and walks to the kitchen. Have you ever watched someone choose patience when they had every reason to walk away? For the next 10 minutes, Sterling reveals exactly who he is. Not loudly, not theatrically, subtly. He complains the water isn't cold enough, taps his fork impatiently when she walks away, asks if someone else can bring the food when she returns, knocks over a bottle of ketchup accidentally and gestures toward it with a lazy finger. Careful, he says lightly. That's a messy look. He records a video on his phone while she cleans. Public service announcement, he says to his camera. This is why you stay in school. Sarah says nothing. She notices everything. Tone, timing, behavior, character. She delivers his meal. He barely looks at her. By the time he finishes eating, the clock has already passed the time her daughter would have stepped onto the stage. Sterling tosses loose change onto the table. There, he says. Don't spend it all at once. Sarah looks at the coins. Then she looks at him, and something in her shifts. Her posture straightens. Her voice when she speaks is no longer tired. It's precise. You're right, Mr. Sterling, she says calmly. I did miss the recital. He smirks. Occupational hazard. And that, she continues, is a cost you're about to feel. Sterling laughs softly. Sure. Let me guess, bad review? Sarah doesn't respond. She turns and walks toward the back office. Silence stretches. Sterling frowns, confused. 2 minutes pass. The door opens again. Sarah steps out. No apron. Instead, she wears a tailored emerald green suit that commands the room without effort. Her hair falls freely over her shoulders. Her presence is different now, not because she changed, but because she's no longer hiding. Behind her stands Mark, the regional manager, holding a tablet and looking visibly shaken. Sterling rises slowly. "What's going on?" Mark swallows. "Mr. Sterling, this is Sarah Jenkins." Sterling blinks. "The founder and CEO of Grace Franchise Group." The room seems to tilt. "She owns this location, she owns the property, and she controls the partnership your firm has been requesting." Sterling's phone slips from his hand. "No," he whispers. "I had a meeting scheduled tomorrow." "The meeting is canceled," Sarah says evenly. She sits across from him, not as a waitress, as his evaluator. "I've been reviewing your proposal for weeks," she says. "Your numbers were impressive. Your pitch was polished." She slides a leather folder onto the table. "But I evaluate more than spreadsheets." Sterling stares at her, unable to form words. "I evaluate how people treat those they believe have no power." She opens the folder. Inside lies the contract he's been desperate for. She doesn't rip it. She doesn't dramatize it. She simply takes her pen and with steady strokes writes void across every page. Final. Controlled. Absolute. "You didn't just fail as a business partner tonight," she says quietly. "You failed as a human being." Sterling's voice trembles. "I didn't know." "That's the problem," she interrupts gently. "You never thought you needed to know." She stands. "You used motherhood as an insult," she says. "But motherhood is the reason I built everything you see around you. It's why I protect my people. It's why I refuse to empower men who believe dignity is optional." She turns to Mark. "Send the footage, with audio, to his board. Let them understand why their company is collapsing." Mark nods immediately. "And call my daughter's teacher," Sarah adds. "Tell her I'm on my way. We're stopping for ice cream." Sterling tries to speak, apologize, plead, bargain, but Sarah is already walking away. At the door, she pauses, lifts the old apron from the counter, drapes it once more over her arm, not as submission, as history. Then she exits. The diner door locks behind her. Sterling remains seated in silence, surrounded by coins he thought were enough. Have you ever witnessed a moment where power finally answers disrespect? From the other side of silence, toss stories, where real voices rise and truth finds its echo. Like, subscribe, because the loudest silence always comes before the storm of justice. And no one else gets to define your worth. You demonstrate it.